Anyone, of course, who experienced Hurricane Katrina will never forget the worst natural disaster in U.S. history. But when you look at the coast today, it's kind of hard to imagine the complete devastation 2 decades ago. The federal government stepped up to help Mississippi, and the people of the coast showed remarkable courage and resilience. I talked to former Governor Haley Barbour, who guided the state through the disaster. Barbour had connections in Washington and a good relationship with President George Bush. I'll never forget seeing your first trip to Washington. You're on Capitol Hill. You're walking the halls, speaking to senior members because you have such connections, a relationship, a friendship with President Bush, who made many visits to the coast, by the way. How critical were those relationships?
Well, Bush was just indispensable. The federal government got criticized for not doing this and not doing that. But look, at the end of the day, the federal government did more for us than we could have hoped for. They gave us $24.5 billion.
I want to talk about just a couple of miraculous things and things that were so important. Getting the 2 bridges rebuilt, Bay St. Louis, Biloxi, Ocean Springs. Getting the schools reopened when people thought that was going to be impossible. I mean, there were a lot of miracles. The introduction of the Katrina cottages to replace the trailers.
The Mississippi cottages, we called them during Katrina. That was very cutting edge. But you mentioned education. You mentioned this, getting the schools open. I thought at the time, and still believed, there were 3 things that had to happen quickly to get people to come back. 1, to believe they could have a job. 2, they had to have housing or a place to stay, like Katrina cottages. But the 3rd thing was their kids in school. If their children couldn't go to school, they were going to go somewhere else.
And finally, Governor, what did you learn about courage and about resilience, about people, about Mississippians, about folks here in South Mississippi?
I think Katrina did more to help the improvement Katrina did more to improve the image of Mississippi than anything that's happened in my lifetime, because people saw that we were strong, resilient, self-reliant people who got knocked down flat by the worst natural disaster in American history, got right back up, hitched up our britches, and went to work. Went to work helping ourselves, but went to work helping our neighbors. These are the kind of people that my mama used to say to my 2 older brothers and me: crisis and catastrophe does not create character, it reveals character.